Hi, my name is ASYIKIN BINTI HASHIM. My matric number is 1C8020F1034.
Hi, my name is Ang Pei Xuan. My matrix number is 16DAT20F1010.
My name is Wong Sing Ro. Matric numbers is 16DAT20F1052.
First, I and my group members will explain why the remuneration should be increased. We all know that money is not the only thing keep people working hard at their jobs, and it is not always the key component in making someone move to a new employer. But it is certainly an important factor and one what should not be undermined or ignored. For an employee, a good salary can help them lead to decent life, have a safe place to live, help them feed their families, and to enjoy things other than just the bare necessities. For an employer, there are so many things that need to be considered when it comes to their people strategies, and there are not many more important than how they pay and reward their workforce. They need to consider company costs and salaries versus incoming monies. They need to think about their competitiveness as a recruiter, and they need to consider where money is best spent. For example, it is on higher wages or process efficiencies. Firstly, when the remuneration increases, it also can increase the productivity of the employer and employee. A higher salary tends to lead to a culture of high performance and productivity. People will work hard to prove that they deserve to be earning more than the employees at the competitor company. It will also bring with it more focus because they won't be worrying about external factors. Another potential benefit is the more productive and engaged people the company have, the less people will need. This can help the company save a lot of money on salary, and having a smaller and leaner team also bring its own benefits such as increased clarity, cohesion, and reduced administration. Secondly, which increase the remuneration also can encourage an employee to stay. If an employee is highly skilled and has an excellent record, it would likely be easy for them to get a job with one of the company competitors. People often find that they can negotiate a significantly higher pay rate with a new employee. Offering a rise can help to ensure their loyalty and continued commitment to the company. Third, it also can create high level of output. By paying employees above average salary, it essentially saying that the company expects above average work. That may seem shallow, but that's the world we live in. The truth is that higher salaries tend to incentivize a culture of high output. When people perceive that they are getting paid more than their counterparts at other companies, it often compels them to expend extra effort. They will work harder to demonstrate that they deserve that money.
Okay, it's my turn to tell you another few reasons why the remuneration should be increased, specifically the salary and allowance. Firstly, it can increase employee motivation. Properly compensating employees show you value them as workers and as human beings. When people feel valued, they feel better about coming into work. Overall company morale increase and people are motivated to come to work and do a good job. Additionally, when employees know there are bonus or commission, they are increasingly motivated to deliver greater results. Salary and allowance compensation plans become a focal point for success. Next, increase remuneration as rewarding exceptional performance. Employees are more likely to work hard and self-motivate if they know there is the potential of a salary increase. If you consistently reward good performance, you will strengthen your relationship with your best employees and also encourage average employees to improve. Next, it can also improve the profitability of the company. Earlier, we mentioned that the company profit improved alongside employee morale. There are many reasons for this, including reduced absenteeism and presenteeism, increased productivity, and greater employee loyalty. In economics, this phenomenon is known as the efficiency wage theory. Employees who are paid more work harder to keep their jobs, boosting your profit in the process.
A salary increase is a way of showing your employee appreciation and acknowledging their accomplishments. Top performing employee earns salary increase to incentivize them to stay with the company and continue their current path. First, the remuneration should be increased is recognizing an accomplishment. If an employee succeeds in overcoming a significant challenge or bringing in an impressive client, a pay raise could be the best way to show your appreciation and set a precedent for how you treat employees who exceed expectations. Next is acknowledging loyalty. Another reason to offer a pay raise is to show gratitude to the employee who have been with you the longest. These employees know your company the best and often have significant industry experience. Showing them that you appreciated their longevity can encourage them to remain with your team. Besides that, weigh up employee responsibility, also the reason remuneration should be increased. Revisit each employee job description to clarify their responsibility. Then take an inventory of any additional responsibility employee have that are not captured in these documents. You may find that certain employees are undertaking much more responsibility than their job description suggests. Scorecard, after all, is common in jobs. So if an employee has assumed greater responsibility, should factor this into your pay rise description. Also formally revise their job description. If their responsibility justify a formal promotion, make it happen. Will promotion typically come with a pay rise? If the organization is not in a financial position to offer a remuneration increase in line with their wider responsibility, assure employees that will prioritize a greater remuneration increase as soon as can.
A board of directors is essentially a panel of people who are elected to present shareholders. Even public company is legally required to install a board of directors. The job description by the board of directors involve recruit, supervise, retain, evaluate, and compensate the manager. Recruiting, supervising, retaining, evaluating, and compensating the CEO or general manager are probably the most important function of the boards of directors. Value-added business but need to aggressively search for the best possible candidates for this position. Actively searching within an industry can lead to the identification of very capable people. Another major area of value-added business is undercompensating the manager. Managerial compensation can provide a good financial payoff in terms of attracting top candidates who will bring financial success to the value-added business. Another responsibility of the board is to develop a governance system. The governance system involves how the board interacts with the general manager or CEO. Periodically, the board interacts with the CEO during the meetings of the boards of directors. Typically, this is done with a monthly board meeting, although some boards have switched to meeting 3 to 4 times a year or maybe 8 times a year. In the interim between this meeting, the board is kept informed through phone or video conference or postal mail and email.
Job description by the Board of Directors (BOD) also includes establish a policy-based governance system. The board has the responsibility of developing a governance system for the business. The Article of Governance provides a framework, but the board develops a series of policies. This refers to the board as a group and focuses on defining the rules of the group and how it will function. In a sense, it is no different than a club. The rules that the board establishes for the company should be policy-based. In other words, the board develops policies to guide its own action and the action of the manager. The policies should be broad and not rigid, defined as to allow the board and manager leeway in achieving the goals of the business. Board of Directors also need to establish the organization mission and purpose. The organization vision is the founding members' view of what they want the organization to be and what purpose it serves. The board is also responsible for writing a mission statement, which is what the organization intends to do to fulfill the vision. The board should consider the vision while doing its strategy planning to ensure that their planning continually aligns with the vision. Everyone who is directly or indirectly connected with the organization should be aware of the vision, and the board plays a large role in that. Next, BOD also provides proper financial oversight. Board directors work together to establish a budget and ensure that there are proper internal controls in place for incoming and outgoing funds. Even small companies and startups should have an audit committee and do an internal audit every year. Board of Directors also need to strengthen the organization program and services. Board decide with which program most exemplify the organization mission. By factoring the organization resources and demands, board can make decisions about whether their current and proposed program and services align with the organization mission and purpose. When program complete, for fund and other support, board have to make tough decisions about priorities.
A board of directors is the governing body of a company, elected by shareholders in the case of public companies to set strategy and oversee management. The board typically meets at regular intervals. Every public company must have a board of directors. Fiduciary duty to protect the organization's assets and members' investment. The board has a fiduciary responsibility to represent and protect the members or invested interests in the company. So the board has to make sure the assets of the company are kept in good orders. This includes the company's plants, equipment, and facilities, including the human capital, people who work for the company. Board directors must be willing to act quickly and responsibility when they need to take action to comply with fiduciary responsibility or to uphold good governance standards. Crises may happen at any time. Board members need to stand ready to face potential crises and to manage developing crises so they do not adversely affect the corporation. Board directors of today are expected to represent independence and invest perspective. Their main role is to perform the duty of strategic planning and oversight. Where these terms are used often, it is important not to diminish these duties, as they are the backbone of successful business planning. Board directors are much more than iconic figureheads. Boards typically look for specialty quality in choosing board members to fill vacant seats. Board members expect their fellow board directors to be willing to ask true and probing questions to reach all sides of an issue. Board directors need to be well informed and fully engaged with all major issues that affect the corporation. Identify risk has become an integral part of board work because risks are becoming increasingly numerous and complex. When corporations hit one in the group, all fingers typically point back to the board of directors. Next, the board of directors has a monitor and control function. The board is in charge of the auditing process and hire the auditor. It is in charge of making sure the audit is done in a timely manner each year. The board of directors also has ensure legal compliance and ethical integrity. All organizations have to abide by rules and laws. Board directors have a fiduciary duty to ensure that their organization is in full compliance with its legal obligations. Board directors should behave in a truthful, ethical manner and thus set an example for others. Legal compliance also entails setting up policy to establish acceptable behavior such as the whistleblower policy, code of conduct, and code of ethics.
The challenge that faced by the BOD is guiding business communication. The board is a key element in a company's communication strategy. As a result, the board needs to fully understand the company's mission and goals so they can properly guide management on how the business should communicate. A lack of board guidance can result in brand communication that confuse and contradictory. Leadership from board members can help ensure that the company is able to communicate both well and with consistency. Board of members should also familiarize themselves with some of the common board communication mistakes that can muddle a business communication strategy. The next challenge that faced by the BOD is crisis management. A crisis is an event that leads to an unstable and dangerous situation for the organization, irrespective of whether the board accept or deny the situation publicly. As a board or management, they definitely cannot ignore a crisis. To overcome the challenges faced by the board of directors, the group must come together as an effective governing body. The effectiveness of a board of directors is directly related to the level of commitment brought by each member to address board issues. Sitting on a board requires the members to champion and support the organisation outside of the regular board meeting. Each board member is tasked with influencing the direction of the organisation. To do so, they bring passion to the role.
There are also another challenges faced by the BOD, which are balancing and opportunity. In order to help guide the strategy of the business, the board of directors need to be able to evaluate what may present opportunities and what may present risks for the business. To provide the best insight possible, board members should have at least a broad understanding of what risks the business face, operationally, strategically, and financially. Managing board CEO communication. The board has a complex relationship with the business they oversee. Board members don't have the consistent information needed to actively lead the business, but still need to demonstrate leadership and be willing to make big judgments about the company, like asking whether or not the CEO is performing well, or if the business is performing for its stakeholder, and provide guidance based on those judgments. If oversight is too light, small problems that could have been avoided with board guidance can easily grow inside and become significant obstacles over time. In order to provide the best guidance possible, the board should regularly keep in touch with the CEO and other executive staff. Right balancing of power. The balancing of power between different board role players is an issue that cannot be ignored. The board must be constituted such that appointments are made based on considerations such as probity, skills, and experience. The problem is that some boards elect members based on factors such as favoritism. When such criteria are used to constitute boards, people without the relevant skills and/or expertise take up roles. The result include ineffective boards, lack of performance by massive enterprise, distraction from organizational goals, and wrangles within the board. To solve it, board appointments should be made after every potential director presents their experience, tools, qualification, and skills. In this way, the right people will end up being matched with the appropriate powers. Problems of reform. In an ever-changing business environment, it is expected the organizational dynamic, such as the top management, must reform to align with the change. Professional management is still a new concept that modern-day board directors are struggling to adapt. This has led to issues such as low uncertainty as well as unclear management theories. One too many times, such uncertainties have led to standoff, ineffectiveness of board and wrong assignment of management roles. Evidently, the board have to look beyond their job description and expect that satisfy their personal objective. These are outdated scenarios. It is time to look at these problems which are emerging from the liberation of board roles and outlook. Therefore, they must decide how they can solve the problems to make their contribution more consequential to their roles and organization.
Challenge faced by the board of directors is shareholder activism. The trick of shareholder activism puts pressure on board members to be capable of responding to the needs of their shareholders. The board should have the in-depth knowledge needed to properly fill activist requests. Activist shareholder would not always be wrong in their requests, but they would not always be right either. As a result, board members will need to rely on their own judgment and knowledge of the company when handling shareholder activism. Board members should be aware of the risk factor that can make business more susceptible to activist shareholders and be prepared to potentially defend against them. The board may be called upon to communicate with investors and major shareholders if, for example, a shareholder launched a war no campaign. Next is following board duties. There is one area where not-profit boards and business boards differ somewhat. Will most business boards consider themselves to be bound by two primary duties, care and loyalty. Not-profit bonds are often considered to be bound by a third, the duty of obedience. This duty requires board members to ensure the not-profit follows all relevant laws and regulations, as well as the organization's bylaw, and be regularly searching for ways to leverage their resources, insight, and connections to help fulfill the organization missions.